Three top things that you can share that one can do, men or women, doesn't matter, to maintain and sustain wealth.
The first thing that's very important is to have a diversified portfolio. I firmly believe you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. Oftentimes, clients come to me, and you also may have viewers that are starting to listen to you because maybe they've just been trained, like most of us, hey, put your money in the stock market, wait for it to grow. And then when you're 85, you can take it out and enjoy the rest of your life, kind of thing. And I think that the stock market has a place. I think it's right for certain things, and it should be in modification, because when the stock market goes down, your portfolio goes down, and there's not a lot of pivot room at that point. You're a little bit of a sitting duck because your portfolio goes down and you have to climb so far to get it back up. Whereas if you have some in the stock market and some in real estate, you can start to pivot and make choices. So that said, I really think diversification is important. My portfolio is predominantly real estate. It's probably 80% real estate because I believe in it and I understand it. And that's why we're on this podcast. That's why Martin and I connect so much, because we both get it and we love it. And I think that even inside of that, I have different plays that I use to make sure my portfolio is maximized. The second thing is learning tax strategy. I think that if you don't understand tax strategy, then you're missing a big piece of the puzzle of wealth, because most wealthy people have learned the tax codes and how to work with them, how to look at the incentives that the government has given us to save on taxes. That's why many of us are business owners. That's why many of us are real estate professionals. All of these opportunities that have been presented are really important. So you might be making $1 million a year and I might be making $1 million a year. But if you only keep 60% of that, you're left with 600,000 and I might be left with 900,000 or more.
That's
So
significantly. That's significant.
significant. And we're talking big numbers or reasonable numbers, because that's where Martin and I want you to be playing. We don't want you to be thinking of little numbers. Even maybe if you're starting out and maybe it is more little numbers right now, start thinking of bigger numbers. Let yourself expand into that. The more you think about it, the more you can increase your way of getting there. I remember a coach once said to me early on, if you want to make $1 million a year, think of making $5 million a year. Because if you're even just thinking of making $5 million a year, you're going to be operating differently than if you're trying to make $1 million. So I always shoot high. And that's just how I go. And I might do a good, better, best, but that's us a little sidebar. I would say, so diversification, tax strategy. The other thing that I would say that is super important is understanding all the pieces that are involved in really creating wealth. So a lot of times we work, and then we have all this money accumulated, but we don't have a living trust. So basically, like, you went through your whole life, you bought all these assets, you didn't figure out that you're not supposed to change your name into the kid's name, so you don't get the step up in basis. So you basically lost out on all that. And then you don't have a trust. So then everything goes to probate. And then your family's, maybe trying desperately to get what you worked so hard to give them. Or maybe you wanted to give some to a charity, but you didn't designate that. So all of your wishes, everything that you worked for isn't in place. So I would just say staying on top of that, and some of that stuff, it feels a little bit boring and like getting caught in minutia and details. I just try to think that it's just part of putting the pie together.